Hello, NIO live stream. We are back here, and I am here with Stacie and Yvonne, and we had a really interesting conversation on stage. I know we're going through a lot of data really quickly, but Stacie, can you just help maybe summarize what is the opportunity for nonprofits with Hispanics?
The opportunity that really exists is sort of definitely an untapped one, right? I think oftentimes when people think about the Hispanic community, they don't really quite understand the power and really the economic influence that they have and the opportunity that exists. Today, Latinos represent about 60 million people in the US, 18% of the population, but more importantly, they're really young and they're really seeking to connect with content, with organizations that understand their journey. And that want to support them as they sort of take their steps on their American journey. So the opportunity is incredible.
Well, I love how you also framed that today too. You said that this is our future, right? This is the future, and every single nonprofit organization saying, who is my next generation donor? And I think you really helped answer that today. So the big question is, how can we prepare for that? So Yvonne, I know that we've had lots of conversations about the difference between just pure, translation. I mean, anybody can hit the Google Translate button and translate something into Spanish, but what's the difference between that and contextualization as it relates to connecting with this community from a marketing fundraising standpoint?
Well, contextualization helps deliver the message directly to the heart of the Latino community. And as we like to say at Kerux, speak to the hearts of Hispanics. That's very different than just a plain, cold translation that has been the modus operandi of many nonprofits, even sometimes brands, when it comes to advertising or communicating with Latinos. This generation of Latinos is a lot more sophisticated than the past. In the past, maybe they did work. Dubbing a video or putting a simple translation in a web page did work. But keep in mind, this generation is used to now consume content that Netflix produces in bilingual language, right? From original creation content, so their expectations are much higher. So contextualization really means being authentic to the audience that you're trying to reach, and in this case, Latinos.
Excellent. Now, Stacie, you're an industry thought leader. I mean, you're Nielsen, hello, right? So you go and you speak to large corporations all over the world, and you're helping to equip them with information that they can use to be able to address this opportunity. So what are some of the things that we could learn from some of those for-profits that are really leading the way in this area?
I think the most important thing is really understanding the opportunity, and that's kind of what we've been talking about today. By and large, we think, oh, well, okay, Hispanics are 18%. You think, that's 18%. What does that really mean for me? I kind of need to focus on the rest. But if you look at just in general at the multiculturalization of America, you have nearly 40% of America that's multicultural, and by and large, really wanting to connect in culture. And connect authentically. Brands that I work with largely really want to understand the behaviors and the attitudes that are driving the decision making. So not so much what occurred, right? That's really important. How much product is moving, and how many dollars are flowing, but more importantly, why? And then trying to tap into that why, yeah. And that's the behavioral research that I get to do at Nielsen when we peel those layers back. Why are Latinos behaving this way? And then how can we understand that, not to target it, right? But really to then build some authentic bridges that tap into that, and not just bridges with messaging, but also with the development of products and services. So definitely an opportunity for the nonprofit space.
So that's I love that. So we always talk about asking the question how leads to information, but asking the question why leads to wisdom and knowledge. And really that's what we're trying to do, is we're trying to develop wisdom about who is our customer and what do they care about. What are their attitudes, what are their behaviors, and how can we use that to frame our value proposition in a way that, as you said, Yvonne, connects to the heart of this important community. So Yvonne, I know that this is a passion of yours, and we have partnered together on a brand new research study, and can you just share with us a little bit about the study and maybe the most important thing that was surprising to you as you went through and conducted this research?
So just like you did years ago, the why should I give to you as opposed to any other organization or no one at all, we took that same approach and that same premise, and we apply it from the lens of a potential Latino donor. And we analyzed 57 nationally recognized nonprofits across different verticals. And we went in and looked at their website, look at their email, look at their social media. Even we made phone calls as a mystery donor, and we asked that question. And the surprising thing is, one of the key findings is that 75% of all those organizations studied did not have a contextualized donor webpage. That means that they have simply something there, or perhaps they didn't even have nothing. So that's just really, really astonishing, because often in our consulting practice we hear, well, Hispanics don't give. You know, we don't really sure what's the ROI.
But maybe it's a self-fulfilling prophecy, right?
Exactly,
Yeah.
right. And so it's now proved that, you know, the way nonprofits are communicating with this audience is really lagging behind, I would say, a decade.
And perhaps is even preventing them from giving, right?
Right.
And Latinos actually do give. They give, you know, quite a bit. One of the things we talked about today is looking at sort of the different areas
That's
where
right.
the giving is taking place. I think the challenge is what you're saying, really, in sort of elevating that give to where it should be on par with the market, is having the right message, the right offering, and really being authentic about the delivery of that.
Okay, I'm going to give you both the same question. This is last word. So if I'm a nonprofit organization, what would be the number one thing you would tell me to do today to try to connect with this Hispanic community? Yvonne, I'll start with you.
Our passion at Kerux is always strategy. We don't encourage, you know, one-off things, whether that is a video or a website or any kind of campaign. It needs to be intentional, it needs to be authentic, and it needs to be incremental. Now, we're not asking for big budgets, but we're asking that whatever you do makes sense from the perspective of the receiver. And that takes the requirement of pausing and thinking it through, not just rushing to get something out. So begin with strategy.
Okay. Stacie?
I would say not just reaching out and trying to understand the Hispanic community as a whole, because that's, you know, that's a pretty big bag, but really understanding the Hispanic consumer through the lens of your brand, what you're offering, right? I think about this when I talk with brands all the time, and they step back and they say, let's learn about the consumer. And we say, hang on a minute, let's learn about the Hispanic consumer as it relates to your brand, because sometimes you do actually need a Hispanic first strategy, depending on, you know, the relationship that already exists with your brand. And if there isn't one, really understanding the socioeconomics of what your base consumer can look like, with Hispanics sort of layered over that, right? How can Hispanics help you get to where you need to be overall as a portion of your reach?
Excellent, excellent, excellent. Yvonne, Stacie, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having
Yvonne,
us.
Where can we find this study? Is this available online?
So the studies are available right now. The URL is whydohispanicsgive.com.
Okay.
Whydohispanicsgive.com. You go there now. It's free, and it's an exclusive release that we are presenting here at NIO today. The full report coming up in a few months. If you get this one, then you'll get the full complete
All right.
report.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much both. And NIO live streamers, we're going to go to a little bit of break, and we will be right back with you.